Effects are the spirit beings on thoughts. BD0454 from June 8, 1938, taken from book number 10. Never leave the right path, God will always be with you. Hard times have come upon you and your souls that a whole army of spirit beings is constantly striving to work in a way that is useful for your souls. But you still throw the thought of possible helpers far from you. What does not seem comprehensible to you, you do not want to accept, but you only need to realize that the world of the beings on the other side is in direct connection with the earth and its inhabitants. You need only imagine that on earth as well as in the hereafter, the same laws prevail. That everything acts according to free will, is subordinated to the law of the highest, and that here as their only love and its energy works where it is necessary to rise from darkness to light. Therefore, if in the hereafter all this is the same as on earth, why should not the forces invisible to you be able to have the same effect on you? Since they are only executors of the will of God, or rather, their own will is completely equal to the will of God. All events are directed by them in such a way that man is always instructed to follow the path of good by means of a work of love. There are many occasions where people can do good deeds. The more people on earth is active in love, the more he is driven from within and supported in his actions by the grace of the Lord, and so a good deed brings about so many moments of blessing. The thoughts of people begin to turn to the regions, which are outside of life on earth, and also this is a direct effect of the spiritual beings on the other side. If only people would embrace all these thoughts suggested to them by their protective beings, it would be much easier to give the human soul the necessary assistance. But so people willfully prefer to reject these thoughts which seemingly force themselves upon them and which they should draw more attention to in their inner life. Man, whom matter still keeps too much tied up, wants to avoid the spiritual, and that is why he often mockingly exalts himself over such things which touch the inner life. But such thoughts will impose themselves on every human being. More definitely on those who accepts them and begins to think about them instead of unwillingly rejecting them. These are the first steps on the way up. If a person dares to do this, help will come from all sides. The walk on the path taken will be increasingly easier to continue and even then much more joyfully. But you will one day feel so grateful for the active help of the spirit beings, because you also have to be guided in love, where you yourselves are too weak. Break.